Take a look at this workspace. When organizations rely on email to process purchase requests, leave applications, or contracts, the system quickly breaks down. Important requests get buried, and tracking down a manager's final decision requires digging through scattered, disconnected reply chains. Over the next 6 minutes, we are going to build a production-ready, fully automated approval workflow that captures every request perfectly. We will set up a centralized system. It will automatically route each submission to the right person, permanently log the final decision, and send immediate notifications to your stakeholders through Microsoft Teams. Step 1 is checking our toolset. To follow along, you need a Microsoft 365 tenant with access to the SharePoint Online platform, the Power Automate system, and the Microsoft Teams app. Moving your approval data out of individual mailboxes and into a strictly organized architecture establishes the baseline for true enterprise governance. First, we need to create our system of record, a single source of truth where all data lives. We will use a new SharePoint list for this. Go into your SharePoint site and create a blank list. Name this list exactly Approval Requests. In this database table layout, map your columns to specific data types: requester as person, amount as currency, status as choice, and comments as text. To secure this, a managed solution container encapsulates the entire process, our list and future workflow. Inside that managed solution, create a new automated cloud flow. Set your trigger to activate only when a new item is created in our approval requests list. Building inside a managed solution prevents broken dependencies and ensures your deployment remains stable as you scale across different environments. As your organization grows, this workflow will eventually process thousands of transactions. If Power Automate scans every single record every time it runs, performance will quickly degrade. Step 2 is locking down our data intake. Go to the trigger settings and apply an OData filter query to strictly target items where the status equals pending. By filtering the data right at the source, you stop the flow from retrieving historical records. This reduces unnecessary API calls and keeps processing times fast. Now add the Start and Wait for an Approval action to your sequence. Select the First to Respond option so the process moves forward the moment a single manager signs off. Looking at this mockup, notice how the raw data from SharePoint populates the final card. Map your dynamic content, specifically the request title, the amount, and the department, directly into the designated fields on this approval card. A critical rule here: do not hard-code individual email addresses into the approver field. Always assign the approver dynamically by referencing the person column in your SharePoint list. Combine OData filtering with dynamic data mapping for a high-performance system, rather than a fragile script that breaks when an employee changes departments. Our flow needs a mechanism to handle the outcome. The workflow must split into distinct paths based solely on what the manager decides. Add a condition control to your flow to evaluate the precise outcome of the previous approval action. This logic tree shows our 2 pathways. If true, follow the approved branch to update the SharePoint list, change the status, stamp the date, and save comments. Then add a Teams action to message the requester. If rejected, the opposite branch updates the status, logs justification, and sends an Outlook alert. Finally, configure a Run After Read pathway to catch exceptions and alert administrators upon failure. Closing the loop with these condition-based updates captures every decision timestamp and justification, establishing a flawless, touchless audit trail for your business. Now that the architecture is complete, let's step into the shoes of a standard employee and test the final system. The employee opens the SharePoint list and creates a new item, submitting a $500 software purchase request and assigning their department head. The moment the item saves, the Power Automate trigger fires. The filter verifies the pending status, instantly routing data across the Microsoft 365 environment. Seconds later, the manager receives a rich, actionable notification directly in their Microsoft Teams client. They review the mapped data, type in a brief comment, and hit approve without ever switching applications. Back in the SharePoint system of record, the item updates in real time. The status shifts to approved, the exact timestamp is recorded, and the manager's comment is permanently secured for auditing. Because the underlying structure is clean and filtered, you can easily expand this workflow later by laying a Power BI dashboard over the SharePoint list or integrating AI document processing to read attached invoices. Putting in the effort to configure dynamic routing, filtered triggers, and managed solutions today permanently eliminates manual tracking and protects your organization's time for years to come.